So my name is Angel Martin. This is my movie critique of Super Eruption, which is a volcano movie about these people who are at Yellowstone Park trying to stop the caldera from erupting and or figuring out how they can minimize the damage. Now, I'm going to say it took me a very long time to get through this movie because it was so unrealistic and I fell asleep on it multiple times because that's just how bad it was. All right, so we're going to go through 1 through 11 points that I have written in my notes. They're all here. And I'm going to try to sum them up as much as I can because we are on a time constraint, okay? All right. So, for number 1, I just want to start by stating that points 1 through 4 all happened within the first 3 minutes, okay? So, number 1, the person who we later find out is the main male character, the main male lead character. He is a park ranger. He goes back into the fires because the movie starts out with them having an alternate version of the eruption. And I'm going to get into that here in a little bit. But he drops down into the eruption zone where his daughter is stuck in an airplane cabin because they were riding in different helicopters or planes and it crashed. So he's going down to save her, but he jumps out of his helicopter that his friend is driving or flying, whichever one you want to use. And for some reason, he goes down there without a fire suit, without any mask, without any oxygen, nothing. No water, nothing. He goes down there with nothing on him. Now, that's a problem because the smoke is toxic and it's fire. So if something were to happen, he could have, if not should have, passed out in the air from all of the inhalation of the toxic gases, okay? Now, him not having any mask or even a basic N95 mask was very unrealistic because park rangers always have that stuff on them because you never know what type of incident you'll end up in. Now, number 2, he was parachuting into that lava zone. He could have gotten blown away by the strength of the winds and the smoke and the ash and debris within the air that was happening. And mind you, the volcano has already broken its eruption cap, okay? So it's actively erupting. So the fact that he went into that zone and didn't have any type of, let's say, common sense, because that seems what it is that he didn't have, to go down with at least be closer or more thought instead of fight or flight is pretty unrealistic. He went down with no gear. Number 3 was how unrealistically fast the lava was flowing because it's talking about the Yellowstone caldera, okay? It's virtually an ancient but still active volcano. So the fact that the lava flow was moving so fast and everything was being engulfed immediately and whatnot, it seemed very, very unrealistic considering that lava does not flow that fast. Lava actually flows very slowly, but it can engulf things and start fires. So the fact that they didn't take that a bit more seriously and they just use CGI to do that was really weird to me. It kind of annoyed me, to be completely honest. Number 4, the smoke that made its way into the airplane. Them people should have died. Like, actively. They should have died. With that much toxic smoke in their lungs, like I said, for the main character jumping out of the airplane with no mask, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. The smoke should have killed everybody who did not have any type of oxygen masks on. Okay. So, I mean, it just blew my mind that the oxygen they were breathing, which was hardly any, they survived so long with that happening. Now, we're going to go on to number 5. So number 5, given the reality of what the caldera is, with it erupting, we would know more than 2 days in advance, essentially, because of how much research has been done with that specific volcano. So them having 1 or 2 days during the eruption, like as the volcano is actively erupting, to evacuate people, very out of pocket, very unrealistic, because at that point that volcano would have been affecting everyone. Like, not even just the area of Yellowstone, it's everyone within that radius. So, the whole western, southwestern, and the midwestern states, everyone would have been affected. And then it would have been a domino effect going forward, with all of the stuff that was happening. For example, the smoke cloud. The smoke cloud would literally go across the whole United States and cause acid rains, or at least it could, decline in air quality, all sorts of things, toxic ash being traveled across the country. It's it's a bit more extreme than how wildfire smokes work. So it's essentially on the same track but a little more extreme. So I don't like how unrealistic they portrayed that, even with the idea that Yellowstone is the volcano that's erupting, knowing that that is an ancient yet active volcano. um, Number six, the only things that really seemed accurate is that the volcano was going to erupt whether humans um, had very little or small interactions with it, and that the animals, knowing that something was going on and they're migrating like in droves. That is like maybe two of the very few things the movie got right, because essentially with a volcano of that size, human interaction, no matter little or small, or little or big, excuse me, it would not make much of a difference. Realistically speaking, it wouldn't make a difference, because Mother Nature knows what it's going to do. We don't. We can't. We it's just impossible for us to have any real way to stop or like actively slow that down. The only way we are actually able to slow something like that down is through water and whatnot. But even then, that's not always a surefire case. The hot springs not having a caution sign or dangerous sign or being cut off because of the water temperature fluctuation, that was weird. People got hurt in the movie, and it showed that it's not very realistic, but it also showed that the people were being neglectful of the space. Now, the main characters talking to each other in the future off the computer pissed me off. I'm just going to say it for what it is. That's stupid, because how would you know to call back to yourself in the past, years before? The time travel thing just didn't make sense to me. It was very unrealistic. After that point, I was just watching the movie for the plot. It didn't. It stopped being realistic at that point. The only other thing that even made sense was at like the 50-minute mark almost, where the fire safety precautions were being taken. Those were factual. That was about it. Um, After about the 50-minute mark, the movie was purely for entertainment. I stopped watching it for anything else, because everything else that fell forward didn't really make sense. Like 2 out of 10. A waste of an hour and a half of my life, and honestly more than that, because it took me a lot longer than an hour and a half to finish. Thanks. Bye.